Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and this is a special episode. It's not really part of any series, I'm just playing around a little bit. But I found this app recently it came out about a year ago, but I just found it, last week, that puts these tram lines in when you plant. So on this map, which is Western Wilds, I actually removed all the trees and all the rocks and got a very large field which comprised 4 boxes, plowed it, planted it, fertilized it, and basically fast forwarded to July, so it's ready to harvest. This is wheat, and for the most part, it's 98% yield bonus, 100% fertilized. There are some spots that aren't as fertilized because the plowing gave me fertilization for the grass that was there. Right here, I'll just show you on the map. So here's my giant field. Again, in Western Wilds, if you don't know, you buy these boxes. I had to buy box 5 just to cut the signs down. Now I can't sell box 5, so that was kind of dumb. But that got rid of all the trees and the rocks so I could have one continuous field like this. And then each of these fields, I believe, cost me 85,000. Yep, so I bought 6, 7, 16, and 17, like so. Planted one giant field of wheat. But as you can see, if you look at this, the lighter blue is essentially one stage of fertilization. The darker blue is 2 stages of fertilization. Oh, and also I rolled it. That's what these lighter blue dots are here. I'll just turn those off real quick. But that's the rolling. So I also rolled it. Um, but when I plowed, there were some spots where the lighter blue is where there was no grass. So I did not get the fertilization bonus. I'm assuming that's where trees were or rocks. Anyway, so dotted all across here, it's not quite a even fertilization, but again, most of it has 2 stages of fertilization and is ready to go. So this is 98% yield bonus. Anyway, you start with $1.5 million. I had to buy the 5 plots of land, had to buy a chainsaw to cut down the sign, which removed all the trees and the rocks, and then bought pretty much all this equipment here and that silo down there. And this is actually the Western Wilds farmhouse here. So this was only 15,000 to buy. I actually bought herbicide because I was going to spray for weeds on the tram lines because I was excited about the tram lines. And then I remembered when you plow, you don't actually get weeds the first season. So I've just got all this herbicide waiting, but you can't return it. So it's there for my sprayer. And then this is the sprayer that I have. So I got a planter or a seeder, which is over here. This seeder here is 15 meters. So I got a sprayer that was 30 so that I could alternate with the tram lines. And these lights you're seeing on the ground is that mod that put in those tram lines for me. So I can show that in a later video if anyone's interested. But basically, here is 24.6 hectares of wheat. And so what we're going to do today is just have a little bit of fun harvesting and seeing how much wheat we're going to get off of 24.6 hectares, or basically how much wheat can we get off of 4 plots. Now, again, I didn't go all the way to the top of this plot because I wanted somewhere to park my stuff, put the house, and put the silo. I suppose I could have wedged it in this corner, but I decided to just kind of put it on the top strip. So it probably would have been 26 hectares had I done all of it, I would guess. But 24.6, and the reason I came to that number is basically it was how much was plowed. It was 24.6 something, and then how much was cultivated or planted was 24.6 something else. So just kind of averaging those two, we're 24.6 basically. And then obviously you lose a little bit for the tram lines. This one, for some reason, got really destroyed with the tram line, but for the most part, they look like this one over here. So anyway, what we're going to do in today's episode, like this one's a good tire width. This one is very narrow and you can hardly see it, but when you're driving around, you can see this. So I don't have enough money to buy a harvester because I spent all my money on prepping these 4 lots into one giant field and getting all the equipment that you see over there to do that. But I do have 2 tippers. One tipper here I bought full price because it was large, and then I actually got this one on sale as I was fast forwarding through the months for like 6 or 7,000. So I thought it doesn't hurt to have a second tipper and we'll go from there. So this episode, sorry if I'm making you dizzy running around like that, is mainly going to be me harvesting and seeing how much wheat we're actually going to get off here. I think we're going to get close to 300,000 liters of wheat is my guess. The silo I got actually holds 2 million liters, so it's probably overkill, but we'll see. I'm thinking 300,000 liters of wheat is my guess. We'll see how close or far I am from that once we get going. But it did take 12 and a half bags of seeds to plant this. Basically did 3 at a time because that's all I could fit in that seeder is 3,000 liters. And I had to do that basically 4 times, and then I went back for one more bag just to finish off this last strip over there and one spot that I had missed kind of in the middle because I ran out. So basically 12.5 thousand liters of seed went into the ground. So I'm kind of basing my math off that a little bit. We'll see how close I am. So like I said, checking the deals, nothing in there. So we're going to have to rent a harvester this first season. In fact, I think I'm going to rent 2. So we're just going to take a look at what size harvesters we can get. This is a 28 foot. The New Holland is 28 foot. We could go with case as kind of the old standard, but this one does save a little bit of money. Or I could go up here. So this case axle flow can go to 28 foot, which is what the other one was. And then we're up to 400,000. So I want to get 2 harvesters going. Maybe that's dumb, but I don't want to spend that much time harvesting. We will see. I'm going to spend most of my time carting, to be honest. So we will see how all this breaks down. So let me see if I do the New Holland. And this is the one that had the 28, right? Yeah, 28. So New Holland, leasing it would be 13,000. And if we go up to, the case is also 28, right? So if we want to get to like a 30 foot, this doesn't say. This is 10.8 meters. This one is 8.5. So this is actually probably a 40 foot. So if we want to go to the Kloss, excuse me, getting over a cold here. We want to go to the Kloss and get 10.8 meters. It is going to cost us 18,000. So that's the difference. It's like 5,000 extra to get those few extra meters. Which probably won't matter in the end, and we're going to rent 2. So I was trying to make this a Fendt farm to start with. I bought a big Fendt. My first tractor was a Fendt, and I bought this Fendt baler for all the straw. But then I realized that there was no Fendt midsize that was big enough to pull that baler and this sprayer. So I ended up getting a New Holland here anyway. So I guess we're kind of making a New Holland farm out of it. So I guess let's do that. So we're going to get a harvester. We're going to get this New Holland. We're going to lease it. Then we're going to lease a second one. And then we're going to come back and get the 28 foot lease one. Lease a second one. So we're out 1326. I should have looked at my numbers. Let me go down to my math. So we leased, $32,000 to lease. Hopefully we make that back. So yeah, we're going to basically get this started. I will record the harvest, but I'm not going to talk through the whole thing. So we'll just kind of see how that goes. Probably some sort of time lapse. Let me see if I can get this out the gate here. Nope, wrong side. So anyway, we're going to get both of these harvesters going. We're going to be carting with that New Holland and those 2 trailers. and we'll see how close to 300,000 liters I get. All right, well, I'm going to wrap the talky portion of this up because there's not a whole lot else to say until we get that going. And then the idea is I'm going to continue to plant with those tram lines because I just think that's kind of fun. I've never used tram lines before in a farm sim game, and honestly, I don't see that many tram lines here in the Midwest. I live in Nebraska. Tight fit. Can we sneak on through? All right, let's try the lumber mill where there's not a building. But I do see a lot of tram lines in European farms, specifically like watching Clarkson's farm, which I'm sure if you're watching my channel, you probably watched Clarkson's farm. Am I going to have to get a header trailer for this? I think I am. More added cost. I just need to get over the fence. Let me try the other entrance down here and just see. I should have went that way from the beginning. Anyway, I was saying on Clarkson's farm is kind of where I first learned about tram lines because Jeremy Clarkson kept messing them up and Caleb had to keep going and fixing them. So since then, I've just thought, oh, that's an interesting way to do it. Obviously, in most modern farmers use GPS, but again, GPS is something that's not available on the PS5. So kind of doing a little bit of old school farming anyway. The idea is to basically, get those tram lines set up. And here, I guess I'll just get this first row going, but you can kind of see the tram lines off in the distance now as we're approaching the farm. And then I kind of got to veer off the road here, but there's first set of tram lines set, second set there, and then you can kind of see them cutting up the field all the way across. I think there was 12 tram lines in this field. I mean, it is a giant field. You will get a sense of that as we start the time lapses here, but let me unfold this. And we're going to do 1 or 2 cuts across the top just so there's room to turn around because I did have to put the silo and everything else really close to the top here. And I just want to make sure we're getting nope, we're not getting a straw swath, so let's take this off. There, I think that should do a straw swath because I do want to bale all of this too. I got that baler for that reason. There we go, yep, and we're going to just turn on a worker for this one. All right, well, now that I figured out how to get there and how to get that going, you don't need to see me do that twice. So anyway, I'm going to cut it here. I will time lapse in whatever this looks like, and I will meet up with you guys at the end to discuss how much wheat we actually got off this field. All right, if you like this sort of thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, always help. And I will catch you guys here probably like in an hour and a half when the harvesting is done. All right, see you soon. Thanks. Hello and welcome back. It's still a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and this is wrapping up the harvest on this 24.6 hectare wheat field that we had on on Western Wilds. So if you have watched any of the footage, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the footage yet. So it may have been time-lapsed in. It may have been a completely separate video with just music. I'm not really sure yet. But I wanted to kind of show you the end of the harvest and just see how close I came to my prediction of 300,000 liters of wheat. So we will get this unloaded, and then we have the other tipper to unload as well. And that will wrap up just about a little over 2 hours of harvesting. And so let me, as I'm switching out my tippers here, so we've got this one, and I guess should really park this up, but we're just going to drop it here. Well, that was a terrible view. Hopefully that doesn't happen again with this Brantner trailer. So it was a lot of trying to balance the 2 trailers, and unfortunately my big Fendt that has 500 plus horsepower and the double wheels is too wide to fit through here. So if you're watching the footage, unloading this Braytner trailer with the Fendt was a problem. I had to keep backing it in to do it. So I tried to just switch to running only one tractor, running both tippers, which wasn't very effective either. And I fired up the baler just to get the north and south double lines off of there so we didn't keep driving over them. I was going to maybe consider baling with one and running with the other, but I just could not keep up with both of these harvesters going. So without further ado, let's jump in and see how many liters of wheat we got. So I'm going to just tab up. 403, almost 404,000, 403,943 liters. So that is a lot of wheat. That is what 24.6 hectares will get you if it is fertilized at 100%. Mostly, there were some spots that weren't, and 98% yield bonus. So pretty darn good. That is going to take a lot of trips with that Braytner trailer to sell that all in January. But I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, I predicted 300,000. We got 400,000, so that's pretty good. Also, I'm going to hop in these here, these New Holland CH 7.7s. Look, we got 2.1 hours on this one and 2.1 hours on this one. So sadly, we released them both, so they both rolled over an hour, and we got charged for the third hour for that 0.1 of an hour, but we clearly needed it to get these done. I suppose I could have stopped with one at like 1.9 and just ran the other one to 2.4 or 5 or something. I don't know that I'm going to do two smaller harvesters like this. It might just be better to rent one bigger harvester and kind of run that one, because then I could bale while I'm waiting. But anyway, that's what we've got. So we're going to go ahead and drop down to the least options. Where are they here? So harvester, we're just going to call them and come have them pick these two up. So here, return, and unfortunately that dropped both headers. I probably should have done that backwards. Return and return. 2.1 hours on all those things. I'm going to go back up to my finances real quick and just see. Nope, my finances are in this menu. There we go. So yeah, total vehicle leasing costs spent was $58,683. So probably my biggest priority here needs to be getting my own harvester, so I don't have to pay that again next year. In addition, I also paid quite a bit in worker wages, but again, it's only $5,275. Totally worth it to lessen the amount of time I have to harvest. Obviously, if I would have done that with one harvester, that would have been 4.2 hours and the same amount of worker wages, because it would have just taken twice as long. So let me get these things parked up. Actually, before I do that, I can park these here in a second. You don't need to watch that. I'm going to go ahead and grab the baler down there and get that hooked up and go from there. So again, it's 400,000 liters, so we're definitely going to turn a profit. We just got to wait for a good price, which is going to probably be January, maybe December, but January tends to be the peak. And then we got to cart all of that over before the price drops too much. So we might crash the price a little bit. I know when you do large loads like this, sometimes the price will drop significantly from the first load to the last load. But we've got to fast forward to get there. And before we can get to January, we've got to prep this field again, which is going to take a while. So it took me about 5 hours to plow it, seed it, fertilize it before I started skipping time ahead before. And I'm using this Fendt baler, but it is a selectable bale size. And I believe this is the largest I was able to get, which is a 36,000 liter straw bale. So these are going to be real heavy, and I'm going to have to rent some sort of trailer that comes with the adjustable bale size mod that can pick these up, because normal trailers won't pick them up because they weigh so much. So again, you use the adjustable baler, you have to use the adjustable bale trailer to pick those up. So doing the top and the bottom of the field just east to west resulted in us making 2 bales, or 72,000 liters of straw. Plus we have, I don't know, 40 straw lines running north to south across this field. So it's anybody's guess to be how many bales we'll have when we're done. But there are a lot. But had I not done the adjustable bale size, we would have had hundreds of bales on the field and maybe have even hit the limit. So I wanted to make sure that we could work within the means that we have and get these kind of started here. So the big reason I have this big of a tractor is to cultivate. I can't pull a cultivator without a big tractor like this. So I got this one with the double wheels and the wheel weights so that I could pull a 500 horsepower required cultivator. So let me just go ahead and fire this up. Nope, that turned off the engine. I need to turn on the baler, and pickup was already lowered. The nice thing though is this thing does collect at I think 13 or 14 miles an hour. Looks like 14. So although there's like 30 to 40 rows across, this should go relatively quick compared to some of the other jobs I've had to do on here. So anyway, I just wanted to check in with you guys, let you know how much we did achieve from harvesting this field, and turn in the harvesters and tell you how much we paid leasing those 2 harvesters and hiring the help. About $75,000 when it's all said and done to get this harvested. So we'll have to see how much we make, but goal will be next year when we wrap this around again that we can hopefully have our own harvester and not have to pay those exorbitant fees. It might even be worth taking out the loan and paying the interest on the loan if we're just a little bit shy, because we know we'll make that back as well, and we'll save quite a bit not having to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up here, but I appreciate you guys watching. Not sure exactly how I'm going to release this, and again, it's not really a series. I'm just kind of screwing around here with this tramline mod and some really big fields just to kind of see what I could do. So if you want to see more on this farm, let me know and we can maybe turn it into a series, but I don't anticipate doing so at this point. So maybe I'll check in next harvest after we flip the whole fields over and do it again. All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.